So for me, my confidence just comes from my story.
Run that back, Turbo.
Turn me up, Turbo. Turn me up.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking out. His street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Welcome to Base Coverage. I'm your host, Jamal Clay. Thank you guys for tuning in, per usual. For those who followed the journey from year one to now, appreciate your support. Thank you guys for tuning in. For those that tuned in for the first time, go ahead, join the locker room, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, like the video, share with a friend. And per usual, we'll keep ELF talking going, my man. Hey, I got a good one today. I had to bring in this guest. This one was, well overdue. And, this guy definitely made some noise coming into the league. This is someone that, was actually a late signing. We didn't really hear about this guy until like a week or two before the season started and came in and lit it up. So, without further ado, Turbo, what's good, bro? How you doing?
What's popping?
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. Getting to chop it up with you a little bit. Obviously, we followed you throughout the season, your success you had, and then postseason, you got some things coming on along the way too. So, thank you for coming on to the show. I see you repping the Rustloff hat, man.
Of course, man. I definitely appreciate you having me on here. Got to give a big shout out to the Wrocław Panthers. Without them, man, I wouldn't even be on this podcast right now. So definitely got to give them a big shout out.
Definitely shout out to them, and we'll dive into it a little bit. But as I mentioned, you were a late signing. You and our boy Matty Ice. Shout out to Matty Ice.
Shout out to Matty Ice. Hey, shout out to Matty Ice.
Most definitely, my dude from Jersey. A lot of people doubted him. He proved a lot of people wrong. I'm glad he had the season he had. So shout out to him. But you guys are both late signings, and then you came in, tore it up. Definitely made a mark for your name. What was it? 39 in 10 games, 39 receptions, 895 yards.
9 games. 9 games.
Excuse me. 9
real.
Games.
That Leipzig game went, hey man, we can't count that. And the ELF got to do something about that, asterisk or something on it.
And 16 touchdowns. My bro was living in the red zone. But The crazy thing is, if you'd have got one more, what's his name? If you'd have got one more touchdown, Brody from Munich probably wouldn't have got the Triple Crown. You were right there with him.
Man, he had a phenomenal season, man, for real.
Yeah, Markel Castle. Shout out to Markel.
Shout out, man. Shout out to Markel Castle, man. He had a phenomenal season. Triple Crown, man. You really can't argue with it. So man, big shout out to him. But yeah, if things could have been different on the back end of the season, I'm really curious to see what would happen. I know I was on pace to break the touchdown record, the receiving touchdown record. Really, it was 8.5 games that I played, not even 10. But
yeah, you were hurt.
9, man. Yeah. Ended up getting banged up a little bit towards the end, but in 9 games, 39 catches, 895 yards, 16 receiving touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Touchdown leader in Europe.
Go ahead, get your stats.
Like people don't really.
Your stats, Turbo.
I'm just saying, like let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Total touchdowns, I had the most. It was 18. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just what happened. I'm just telling you what happened.
Hey, the facts are out there.
Touchdown leader.
The facts are out there, and the story's been written. But the crazy thing is you're on the bigger things. You're on the bigger things. My guy just signed with the Edmonton Elks of the CFL. Congrats, man! Congrats. Talk to me about that. How did that come along?
Man, and this is one thing that I gotta say that I'm just really grateful for coming overseas is that I had an opportunity to live by myself, and it really just gave me, man, a safe space to really grow. I needed that quiet time. I really needed that alone time to really just kind of learn and understand myself more than I did before. And in that, and even prior to the time of me being in Europe, I was really just working on getting myself right, manifesting the things that I wanted. And I'm just very fortunate that I had an opportunity to come overseas and to then put myself in a position that I could go on to another opportunity that would progress me and be in a position where I can compete with a higher level of competition, get paid more money, all that. But it was really something that it was kind of like a spur of the moment. I had actually another coach from another let's just say another coach from another league that was trying to sign me. And I basically just told him, you know, coach, I don't really have any interest to play in this league. I kind of have my expectations set on this, and this. This is what I'm waiting for. And he was really telling me, he's like, man, I got connections. I got this, that, and the third. So it was like, for a coach I never played for before, he just said, man, I really like the things that I heard from you. You're a high character guy, and you know, I'm gonna recommend you to the team, and the rest is history.
Hey, shout out to the unnamed coach in the media industry. We call those sources. We call those sources.
Yo,
But shout out to homie over there. But hey,
unsung hero.
you're about to join an alumni group with some popular names. I mean, guys that played in ELF and graduated and went on to bigger things. I'm talking about, you know, Marlo Sean Franklin played in the CFL. I'm talking about Justin Rogers. Yeah, Justin Rogers played in the XFL. And we got Toby Ledman, you know, just spoke with him not too long ago, playing in the CFL. And obviously we can't forget, you know, one of the guys that probably had one of the best European seasons at running back, and that's Madre London. And I'm not sure if you heard too much about him, but long story short, in 8 games, bro rushed for like 20-something hundred, like 2,000 plus yards. It was out of control, and that was in year 1 in the ELF. Yeah, he balled.
That's crazy.
But I don't know if you noticed, bro, but you're going to be the 4th person from the Russ Wolf Panthers to graduate and go on to bigger things, right? We're talking about Keanu Ebanks, was supposed to be there year 2. He went to the CFL, Calgary Stampede. You know, Carlos Bronze, DN, went to the BC Lions, now on Frankfurt. And obviously the most popular one, you can't forget about Cavante Turpin, tearing it up in the league for the Dallas Cowboys. And now we got Tony Tate joining the alumni crew, heading to Edmonton. Talk to me about this, man. Playing in the European League of Football, you know, a lot of people maybe might be skeptical just coming to Europe in general. I know I was when I first came over, but talk to me about like the opportunities that are really out there for guys that take the chance to come across the pond and play in Europe.
Man, I tell you, it will be an experience that you will never forget. It felt like Phineas and Ferb, me and Matty Ice had the best summer ever, for real. 104 days of summer vacation, we was having a blast, man. Like, it was, for real, the best summer I ever had. And I really appreciate it just because it allowed me to do things outside of football as well. And for a closed-minded person, it forces you to broaden your perspective to be able to see how another culture that you've never seen before, how do they interact, how do they live. And I'm a very open-minded person. I love to travel. I was like really, really looking forward to the experience because you put something in
Amen
front
to
of me.
that.
But I'm saying I really feel like it's an experience that everybody should have because you can see how you just get to see a side of the world that you never knew. I never knew that Poland was like that.
Yeah.
I never would have expected that Poland was actually like that. And when I went over there and I got to see everything, and it was like, it forced me to have to learn Polish to be able to navigate certain things.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's good for life lessons because either you can be in an environment and choose to adapt, or you can be in an environment and you can have a bad attitude and not have and be upset that things aren't going your way, or because you can't navigate the way that you're used to. So it really forces you to get outside of your comfort zone. And me, I love trying new things. So yeah. I took it head on, and I was very eager to get going. But I think just for any athlete or anyone that even is considering just travel for real. But the football aspect, I feel like a lot of coaches may feel like, because I've heard some criticism behind the ELF, and the level of competition isn't comparable to whatever. But at the end of the day, I was a Division II product. I had no offers out of high school. I went D2 before I went D1, and then went on to still make some noise on the Division I stage. But at the end of the day, there's good players everywhere, and there are some great players in Europe. There's some guys that played in the NFL that are playing in Europe right now. There's some guys that played in the CFL that are playing in Europe right now. That lets you know the level of competition is up there. Yeah, across the entire team, you may not find the local players that are really balling on the same level as your imports, but you know, I feel like that's everywhere. You're gonna have star players, and your star players are your star players. But the football is in Europe is quality. Is it America? No, but it's quality football, and it's an opportunity to keep on perfecting your craft, mastering your craft, and you get to see and travel the world at the same time.
Absolutely. And it's just an experience that, my first year playing over here, people always used to ask like, hey, like, what was it like playing over there? I was like, to be honest, it's one thing for me to tell you, but until you experience it, it's never going to match it. That's totally true. I totally agree with you. Excuse me. Had this season, in terms of how you personally played, obviously you mentioned before, fireworks from the beginning in terms of the numbers and the stats you were putting up, and you're on record saying, hey, listen, the NFL is my future. The NFL is my future. Where do you get that confidence from?
Man, I've been defying odds since I started on this journey. And the reason why I choose to be so positive and encourage everybody else is because that's not always the energy that I got from other people. I haven't always had coaches that supported everything that I wanted to do and supported, just how confident I was. I've put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into myself to be able to be where I am today. And for some people that have never worked that hard, I wouldn't expect you to understand where I'm coming from. I can understand why a lot of people may feel some type of way by somebody that has a strong personality or somebody that knows who they are or somebody that knows their worth. But I put the time in to be who I am, and I know who I am. I know who I am on that field. And at the end of the day, I will be respected for who I know that I am. So the confidence just comes from the time that I put into my craft. You can ask my brothers. I would have them out there with me. I'm talking about from sun up to sundown during the summer. And we're just out there getting it, making up drills ourselves. I've been going at this for a long time, and it's like I came out of high school 0 stars. I went D2, then I transferred Division 1. Then I had no opportunity my first year coming out of the draft. Then I went in and did what I did in the ELF, and now went to the CFL. So for me, my confidence just comes from my story. I have dominated every stage that I've been on and elevated from it every time. Why would I not be confident? Anytime somebody told me I wouldn't do something, I did it. And everything that I said that I would do, I did. Why would I not be confident? I walk the way that I talk. Why would I not be confident? I encourage everybody to be the same way in whatever your craft is too. If you're on the field, you better think that you're the baddest one out there. Why wouldn't you? I encourage you to feel that way. You can ask any team that I played against this year. Ask them if I talk trash. I didn't. I was out there encouraging them while I'm playing for real. You can talk to anybody I played against. Man, I'm dabbing boys. Man, me and Edwards from Vienna, bro. We're talking the whole game, bro. Man,
shout out to X.
Shout out to X, bro. Shout out to X.
I talk to X all the time. X is.
I'm saying shout out to X, bro. We're competing. He's yapping at me a little bit. Oh man, keep coming, bro. Yeah. That's what I like. And at the end of the day, as a competitor, you should love that. And I don't understand why a lot of people feel some type of way about it when I'm outspoken about how I feel. Why don't you feel confident about what you do? I encourage everybody to be confident because you can do anything with confidence. I'm trying to tell you.
Most definitely. Hey, you preach it to the choir, man. And like, you need that in this game. You need that in this game. If not, and you're mentally done, I mean, it's a physical game. So if emotionally you'll get hurt, physically you gotta get hurt. If you're not all there. Hey,
for sure.
This league is expanding. And obviously,
yes,
there was some hiccups year 3, obviously losing Leipzig, and we get that aspect of it. And they're bringing in Madrid. Obviously you've been to Europe, you've done some traveling, and obviously this league is going to expand. Where do you want to see the league go?
To be honest, if
you could pick one country.
Me and Matty Ice, man, we went to Barcelona. We had a blast. Spain was awesome. We went to Sicily. Italy was amazing. Yeah. And I would say, I mean, from the countries that we played in, I enjoyed Germany. I feel like Germany had a little bit more of the diversity that I was looking for in America that Poland kind of lacked a little bit, at least in Berlin. From what I saw when we were in the hotel, I mean, we didn't have much.
Alexander Platz.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I really loved Italy, and I mean, I have a Italian background as well, so it was
dope. I didn't even know
it was dope for me. My mom is mixed with Italian, so you know what I'm saying. I'm African American Italian, but it was dope for me to be able to be in a space. I'm not Sicilian. Matt was Sicilian, so it was dope for him to kind of be in his.
Motherland.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matty Ice again. Shout out to
man. Matty Ice gonna be at my wedding, bro. I'm trying to tell you. And that was just one thing that was so amazing coming out there, was that I had the opportunity to make amazing relationships Like I met some awesome dudes. Like, and I'm talking about local players too. I met some
Yeah.
awesome dudes, man. Like some stand-up dudes, and I'm proud to call them brothers now, and proud to have made that connection with them. So, again, like the entire experience was amazing. I think as far as expansion goes, I would love to see the ELF be in, as synonymous as it can be with the NFL. If it grows beyond 32 teams, I feel like you can really kind of create anything you want to. Like I said, you can do anything with confidence. And if this platform has enough confidence to say, man, let's bridge a gap to where we have a team that's represented in every country in Europe and multiple teams represented for every country in Europe, so be it. I think it's capable. Do I think that there's some work to be done? Absolutely. But I think that the ELF can be as big as it wants to be, and I hope to see it grow to be that big.
Most definitely. Hey, I'm right there with you, especially someone who's covering the league. But, I like to chop it up with you guys, and obviously not just players, but coaches, those who have watched the shows and stuff like that. So, hey, man, before we close this thing out, this is my final question. It's a two-part question. Final thoughts on the whole ELF experience, what you learned, what you appreciated about it, anything that comes to mind. And then what are your final thoughts on your experience playing for a staple organization like the Russell Panthers?
I would say something that I would say that I learned while I was in Europe was just to continue to practice discernment, to continue to practice restraint, because there's times in your career where things will happen and you don't want those things to happen, and there's times where you're going to go through some tough things, and at the end of the day, it's just a test of your character. How do you respond? And for me, I really appreciated just being in an environment where I could play football, but the football was it just this was the first time that I had fun playing football again. And for somebody, you know where I'm coming from the States and playing ball in America, man, it's grimy, it's gritty, and it can be very political. Something that I did experience here as well. And a lesson that I would take is just to always know that you have to control what you can control. There's going to be politics that are going to be involved. You're not always going to be the first one chosen for whatever you want, whether you deserve it or not, whatever. And at the end of the day, you have to learn to control what you can control. And the other things that are outside of your control, man, encourage other people, be positive, do your part, and take what you can take from it. Because at the end of the day, if you spend too much time thinking about the things that are outside of your reach, and that's something that I struggled with in my college career. I was so focused on, why certain things weren't happening that I was working for, and why I wasn't coming the way that I wanted to, or just like why plays weren't being executed certain ways. And it's like, at the end of the day, I'm 1/11th of the team. And the most important part is the leadership, the coach. The coach is the one that dictates where the team is going to go. If you don't have a good scheme and a good plan, you can have amazing players. The leadership is the first part. And at the end of the day, I had to just learn, man, I'm one part of the team. I'm just an aspect of the team. And I need to learn how to be the best asset to the team that I can be. And when I really understood what that meant, it's who I've always been, but it's just me having a strong personality and me being confident. It was understanding, how do I redefine my approach so that I'm not I'm not doing too much. It's just learning how to be a professional. And I feel like it's something that dealing with politics and different things like that, I had an opportunity to continue to learn how to be a professional coming to Europe. And then can you reiterate the second part of your question? I know you said it was about Wrocław.
Final thoughts on Wrocław organization. It's a staple organization, one of the tops in Europe, even before the ELF. But obviously, with you being there, you were joining the amazing alumni crew that has probably put the most people in the ELF to the next level. What were your final thoughts on playing with that organization?
Truly grateful for the time that I spent in Wrocław. And it's a testament to those guys that are in the front office that are getting things done. Specifically, Coach Semmel, he's the one that actually reached out to me the very, very first time in 2022 when I spoke to Wrocław. He was the first person to reach out to me. So I really, really appreciate him, and I feel like he's someone in the organization that he needs a little more flowers, because behind the scenes, I mean, I'm sure he probably found, I'm not positive, but I'm willing to bet that he probably found Turpin too. And you know, it just shows that he has an eye for recruiting. Coach Christensen, man, just another guy truly grateful for, because he was the one that came back to get me the second time around when it didn't end up working the first time. So as far as the organization goes, amazing organization. Big shout out to Artur, their physio as well, the best trainer that I've ever been around, even coming from the States. And I think that's huge. You know what football is like out there. And as far as having a training staff and everything, I think it's amazing to be able to say that I had the experience that I had in Wrocław with the physio, the team, the players, the coaches, the front office. I mean, it was all love. I mean, I was definitely doing my part and earning their respect by learning Polish and everything and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, amazing organization, and I'm truly grateful for the opportunity that they gave me and the time that I spend in their city. Also, at this moment, Wrocław is my favorite city in the world.
Hey,
that I've been to, because just as far as a city goes,
yeah,
I'm not real. You know, Chicago got the skyscrapers and everything, and it's cool and all, but man, Wrocław is a dope city, bro, for real. Like,
listen,
I love Wrocław.
I played them. I played them, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I played in that stadium, played that team. They always got an eye for recruiting people, and the city is beautiful as well. So, hey, brother, thank you guys. Thank you for coming on, chopping it up. But before we leave, before we exit this thing, why don't you plug your YouTube page, man? You got some good stuff going on.
Oh yeah, hey, y'all see the mic? This ain't for show. It ain't just to be cute. You know what I'm saying? Turbo Tate on YouTube, man. I just started my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you letting me do that and giving me a shout out too. But yeah, man, just started my YouTube channel. A lot of versatile content coming. I got vlogs. I actually made my own highlight tape this year. That was my first video that I dropped. So that's on there. Got vlogs from Barcelona dropping tomorrow, actually, Sicily at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And just more content to come. Vlogs, man, tutorials, motivation, uplift, everything. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, and by the time we
Turbo Tate, you know the name.
Yeah, we're gonna drop the tag below, but also by the time we release this video, that Barcelona video will already be up. But definitely y'all subscribe to the channel.
Sure.
Links in the bio. We're all about promoting. This is the locker room. This is there's a couple of podcasts. This is the locker room, all right? So I appreciate you all coming in, tuning in. Subscribe to this channel, share with a friend. We'll keep this thing going. Turn me up, Turbo. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk soon.
Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know about it. Animal.